go take a look this morning at a little project maybe get done today here on the left hand side of the road. Low spot, a bunch of trees growing in it. It's kind of wet down there, but it's good sod for the last 15 years, so even though it's a little drizzly out today, I would think it'll carry good. Oh, this is all just little trees. It's drizzled out last night and this morning. It's drizzling right now, but it should be done soon. By the time I go and grab stuff and get here, it'll be an hour. A little more than that. Just clean out some trees. Some trees up over here and then down out farther. Go in and get those out. Used to all be farmed. And then it got wet and the trees started growing. So I'd like to get the trees out. Well, I just got out and walked around a little. It is definitely soft. There's no frost in the ground. And the top little bit has got plenty of moisture. But this was a wheat field last year, and I put peas and oats out on it just as a cover. Hold the ground over winter, get a little organic material. And even though it's soft underneath, there's a mat of grass on top. I'm not really worried about sinking in or cutting in with the tracks on the machine. I just don't want everything all mudded up just for the sake of getting a little project done when it could wait till it freezes. But I think that there's enough grass cover out that if I'm careful with my tracking around and don't tear it all up, I'll be able to just kind of float on top of the grass and not really get any mud churned up and make a mess. We'll see what happens. But yeah, there's this spot here and then just some trees as we go down out into there. It's all low, it's all wet because the tile stopped working about 20 years ago or so, and that's when it stopped being farmed. But if I can get those trees pulled out, put on a pile, that way when it dries out this winter I could take it up on a clay hill and burn it. Maybe take a quick trip around the fence line and just clean up what's laying out, bring the saw along. Hopefully it quits drizzling soon, otherwise it'll just be a mess. Well, we got her fueled up and I grabbed a jug of fuel right away. Now I don't have to bring anything out tomorrow morning if it takes that long. Got grease in the bucket. Everything should be ready for everything I need to do out here today. The drizzle has stopped, but it's still just foggy. It's definitely not drying weather. Hopefully it's dry enough. Don't make too big a mess. I'll get this loaded up. We'll be on our way. Well, we've got her chained down. Just gotta throw a strap over the boom quick and then she'll be legal. Got our fuel, our shovel, and our chainsaw along. So we'll get headed over there. Got a couple trees down here. The roots are massive. A lot bigger than I thought they were going to be. I thought being so wet they wouldn't have so many roots. Turns out they have a lot of roots. So this may be a giant pain in the ass. This is one of the bigger trees that's in here. It just had 4 or 5 inch roots going off. Even when they were out 15 feet, they were still 4 inches in diameter. So I had to go out a ways and cut them off there, and then I could break them back towards the trunk. But, well, I wanted to get these couple out of here so I can make the pile here. That way it's up on the high ground. So it'll be dry to pull the stuff off of later when I do want to burn it. I see now that I look through the footage I recorded with the new camera I got that it sits a little crooked when it's in the cab with me. So for now, rather than cropping it down and making it level and losing a portion of the footage, it'll just be a little crooked to start with here. Hope to get that squared away in the future. A lot of these trees have a lot more roots than I was figuring on. This gets really wet here when it is wet, but it also dries out in some of these spots. Some spots stay wet all year, other spots really dry up. So I think that's what's going on with all the roots. Once it gets into the year, they gotta put up quite a few feelers to get some moisture. Some of these are just ridiculous. Also, the ash trees, dead or alive, have hardly anything for roots. Those seem a lot better. The various harder woods definitely live up to their name. Have a lot more root mass. Just kind of a mess taking this down because some spots there's some 10-inch diameter trees that you got to dig a little bit on and work on. And then in other spots it's just a mess of 2 to 4-inch trees, but they're all so tight together, and I can't just push them forward, all of them, because there are some trees in here that I have to save on the other end. And maybe now what I'm doing here is starting from a different angle so I don't have to push towards them, but maybe I'm better off just going and starting up by the road. Then I can get past those trees right away. But I wanted to work from this side so I could keep making piles behind me and then haul them off, rather than digging them out and swinging them towards the road farther away from where they're going to have to be hauled eventually. I am very new to this recording and editing videos, so as of now I'm trying to feel out what speed to run time lapse at, what to edit in, what to edit out. So my thought to start with is I'm just going to record kind of what I do throughout the day and not edit much of it out if I don't have to. Just kind of, you can skip around, see what you like. Maybe it's boring, maybe it's interesting. If you have any thoughts, let me know. There goes a rabbit. Earlier I must have been close to a skunk because it all of a sudden smelled by the one tree. I don't know if that's where his nest was. He got pissed off that I took his tree or what, but it smelled pretty bad for a little while. Most of the dirt is coming out of there. Oh, Nelly. Never tipped an excavator over before, but it's the first time for everything, I guess. Might as well give it a try today. Thing that would be kind of handy on here, and I think pretty much all the newer ones have it, is you can go in high speed travel, and when it bogs down it automatically switches to low speed. Not a big deal, but this thing just doesn't have much power in high speed, so when I'm pushing I just put it into low. Hopefully it's easier on the motors too. But then when I back up, I like to put it in high. Sometimes you forget it or get backwards. And trying to push it high and travel backwards and low. So yeah, it would be a handy feature. should have looked into a little more if guys have good ideas on how to go into this thick stuff like this. I'm sure there's a technique that works better than the one I'm doing. Trying a few different things. Trying to just grab what I can. Works alright sometimes. Try to push sometimes, but then it all gets tangled in. Trying to grab stuff is hard. Sometimes. Other times it works fairly good. Barely reach my brush pile. If I get over 2 feet, that'll make a big difference. 3 feet. Sure if having this is a 24-inch bucket. I'm not sure if having a narrower bucket, a 12-inch bucket, would be better. Be easier to dig with, but I do like that I can hook around things with this. So the bucket sticks out a little wider than the thumb. So sometimes that's really nice because I can just reach around something. Maybe the best would be is to have a 12-inch bucket with like a 30-inch wide plate welded on, so you'd have like an ear to grab things with to pull them towards you. I always pull with stuff on the other side of the stick, or generally try to, so that if it does whip towards you, it doesn't join you in the cab. too, a lot of times when I push them, sometimes I break them off, and then the roots are still in the ground. Really not solving the problem, just making it look better, but gotta get them roots out. But sometimes you break them off, at least you get the tree out of the way and go back and grab the stump out. Sometimes it almost seems like that's maybe the way to go. The other thing I haven't tried yet, which I should before I get too far along, is just go in with the dozer blade and push. I really don't think it'll work. I think there's way too much roots on this stuff. But one thing that is frustrating is if you struggle through a whole job, and then right at the end try something a little bit different that you think there's no way it'll work, and then all of a sudden that works way better and you wish you'd done that the whole dang time. Time we try the dozer. Best spot would be to start over on this left edge, so I can protect the cab with the boom. These are all a little bigger. Don't know that I can push these guys. Two that I just broke off, that worked real well. Grab these two, get them out of the way. It's just if you had a dozer, an actual dozer, you could just plow right through the middle and be good. Here, you gotta have a spot to stick the boom, so I gotta work on an edge. Mess. I have a feeling I should have just started a new one here. grabbing all these ones that I have laying down. that's about it for today. I will be back tomorrow to hopefully get this finished up and be done with it for now. So I will be back with you in the morning.